Welcome to Taking Care of Business on News Talk 1180 KERN for the best in Saturday Talk Radio at 1 o'clock and on 1230 KGEO at 10 o'clock Saturday, and for the best in Wednesday Talk Radio on 1410 KERI, the Christian station. We're now on 1000 KKIM in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and also 3 times Clay a week on the internet nationwide through knookmedia.com. Plus, you can catch any of our shows for the last 4 years, I can't believe it's been that long, on YouTube at Clay and Marty Show. Your host is Clay Koerner, and I'm Marty Pay, and our producer is Greg Held. Hey, Clay, that was a great show with Marcus Johnson and Elizabeth Skoglund last week.
Enjoyed the show very much. But why do you keep telling me we're on 3 times? Because I know that.
Well, I know you have a hard time counting to 3. I'm just trying to help your education here. Okay. Before we talk about today's show, I want to mention next week we have Miles Musio to talk about global warming, but we also have someone that's been in the news quite a bit all week long. The sheriff of Pinal County in Arizona, Sheriff Baehr, is going to be on the show next week. But today we've got a great show. In the second half, we have Michelle Slater-Tucker, author of Sell Your Business for More Than It's Worth. And then we have Jackie Sullivan we're going to have on talking about a great event, the In God We Trust event coming up with David Barton at the end of the month.
And Brad Dacus.
That's right. But right now we have an old friend of mine, author, founder, and publisher of Movieguide, Dr. Ted Baehr. Ted, welcome to Taking Care of Business.
Oh, it's great to be with you today.
Ted, tell our listeners about Movieguide.
Well, Movieguide is part of a whole panoply of things that we do to influence the industry. You know, I grew up in the entertainment industry. I've been there for almost 70 years. My father was a star in the 30s, won the box office award in 1936, and I think we saw each other last in 1936. No, we saw each other at Nordscott's wedding, so that was great.
It's been a while.
And my mother was a star with MGM, so I grew up a rabid pagan, and after funding 5 feature films, one of them was Oliver Stone's first film, somebody gave me a Bible. My life turned around, and I did The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe on CBS television, which won an Emmy Award and had 37 million viewers. And I said I was on a mission from God to see whether we could redeem the media. And at that time, there was only one movie with positive Christian content. So we started doing this detailed economic analysis of the box office and giving out. We give out about $350,000 worth of prizes to get these Hollywood execs there, and we get all of them there, and we show them the economics of it. And after that, we've seen it go from one movie with positive Christian content to now it's 66%, which is a pretty good change since 1991 when we started the report to the entertainment industry. We started the ministries in 79. But I'll give you a couple of examples in your business. Up to this point, this year, G-rated movies average $48 million at the box office. R-rated movies average $6.9 million. So you can do the math of dividing 7 into 49 and find out pretty quickly that G-rated movies were doing much better. And PG and PG-13, it's like a stair-step. Movies with overt faith content, let's say Heaven is for Real, did 4 times its negative cost. All you have to do is 2.5 times your negative cost to break even. Son of God did 6 times its negative cost. God's Not Dead did about 40 times its negative cost. Transcendence, on the other hand, on a $100 million budget, only made $21 million at the box office on a $100 million budget for Pompeii, and those budgets, depending upon whether you hear it before the disaster or after the disaster, only made $23 million. So we do this detailed economic analysis of the box office, and we show people what does better, and we've seen tremendous changes, and then we help parents teach their kids how to be media-wise, and we help people how to tell stories with faith and values. So we did a little short course. I used to be head of the department at Berkeley, and then I think when you saw me, I was head of the department at Berkeley. But we had a 4-day short course where one of the heads of MGM came in. So I'm really grateful that the top people in the industry are constantly seeking us out and coming to our 4-day course and learning what they can do to do better at the box office.
Ted, I do a class at University of Phoenix called Media and Its Effects on Society, and I have a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of ways you can go with it. But one of the questions I have for you is, okay, with all this evidence that family-friendly films are better at the box office, how come Hollywood hasn't really gotten the message yet?
Well, you're asking a very astute question because you're doing a business show. But one on your teaching at Phoenix, I was head of the TV department at City University, New York, in the late 70s to put myself through seminary. And we got 60 professors together and did the first media literacy course. I think every media literacy course grew out of that course. But the reason they do, all of these films is, one, there's always an exception. There's always one film that breaks out of the pack, even though the majority of them do very poorly. Two, about 40% of the films are made by the majors, and the majors are interested in reaching a broad family audience, so they do Planes, Fire, and Rescue that is opening this weekend. They want to reach that broad audience. They want a movie that'll hit all four quadrants and sell 4 tickets to a family instead of 1 ticket to somebody who just wants to be bemused by some French film. But number two, they also, 60% of films are independents. A lot of those independent films are films that just don't even make it at the box office. For instance, movies with extreme sex or extreme violence, independent films average under $1 million at the box office, which is one of the things that gives us such good averages. And number three, the studios also want to make movies for different audience groups. The big group now is Hispanics. My wife is Argentine. Her mother didn't want to learn how to speak English, but this is a big deal. So the studios, just like car companies, want to make sedans for when Marty wants to go to work, and they want to make trucks for when you want to go out to the farm, and they want to make SUVs so when you want to go fishing, and they want to make vans when you want to deliver the hay. So all of that stuff, they want to make movies for every different group. So if they can make a Tyler Perry movie for $10 million and earn $100 million, they won't earn much more than that. Then they're reaching their audience goals and their economic goals out of it. So they're trying to get home runs, they're trying to get triples, they're trying to get doubles for date flicks, and they're trying to get some singles out there.
We're having a conversation with the founder and publisher of Movieguide, Dr. Ted Baehr.
Ted, do you think that people are getting sick and tired of the filth that's being produced in Hollywood?
That's another one of those wonderful, complex questions that occurs. Certainly within, the faith-based community, the faith-based community went from when I came in, since I came in from being a rabid pagan doing heavy drugs with my father, who was on Broadway for many years and all that stuff. I was shocked when I did The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in 1979, 1980 on CBS that, there were many people in the church who said, we shouldn't be going to movies and we shouldn't talk about movies, etc. And now, last year, according to Baehr, the average movie ticket purchases for the average non-Christian was 1.7 per year. Average movie tickets for evangelicals was 2.7 a year. And then if you look at what they want, the Americans, in general, 75% believe biblical historical accuracy is important. 66% want a historical movie on the rise of Christianity. 41% think theaters don't show enough movies exploring faith. 98% of the people, the 140 million who go into Walmart each week, want movies with faith and values. But even when you get the 140 million who go to Walmart, or the 123 million who go to church, or you add to the 123 million who go to church, the millions that go to synagogue and other forms of worship, you still have half the population, and probably no more pouring across the border all the time, that are willing to support other movies and entertainment. And as we've seen from a recent German study, for instance, for people who watch pornography, their brain shrinks. So, as they watch more and more salacious material, as they watch more and more, and there's a lot of brain studies on this, including good friends of mine at San Diego and San Antonio, but as they watch more and more, they become more and more desensitized, and they want further and further stimulus. So there's another half of the population. I was surprised that the number of movies, this was about 5 years ago, went beyond 48% with faith and values, with positive portrayals, positive statements about Jesus, positive clergy characters, etc., to 66%. I never thought that it would get that high. So once it went over 48%, I said, this is no longer economics. This is now a miracle.
Amen. When we come back from the break, I want to tell people a little bit more about Movieguide, and then I have a couple questions for you from way back when. We'll be back in a moment on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk 1180.